Me now from Minneapolis is Jason DeRusha. He's a journalist and radio host with decades of experience covering news in Minnesota. Jason, good to have you on the show. We are seeing night after night of really just these horrific scenes, and the situation, quite frankly, doesn't seem to be de-escalating. You're on the ground. Just give our viewers a sense of the mood right now.
It's tense. It is definitely tense here in Minneapolis. And the question that you just raised is the question people here in Minnesota are asking. When will this end? What is the end game of this? And people are looking to the leadership at the federal level, President Donald Trump, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and then the state level. This is a very troubling situation for me and for many, where you say, are we deploying federal law enforcement agents based on sort of the beef or the disagreements that the president of the United States has with the governor of a certain state? Our governor, of course, ran for vice president along with Kamala Harris against the Trump-Vance ticket. And there is a sense here that is this just payback for that?
So when you have people calling in, can you paint us for our viewers around the world a sense of the concerns they are sharing with you?
You know, I think our listeners in Minnesota are like people in most countries around the world. There is a diversity of opinion. And in the cities, in Minnesota is a state that has a huge concentration of population centered around the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul and then the surrounding suburbs. But then much of Minnesota is rural. There's an iron range up north where there are quite a bit of debate about the balance between our natural resources and the economic opportunity that mining presents. So immigration is a very controversial issue. There are some who look at the fact that Minnesota has always been a home for refugees. So we have been the largest concentration of refugees from Somalia. We have been the largest concentration of refugees of the Hmong background from Laos and that area of the country. And we're proud of that. And yet there is question about where the world is today. Are refugees looking to be a part of the American dream, part of the Minnesota story, or are they maybe taking advantage of benefits that some feel are too generous? So are we proud of it? I am. Are some? No, some are afraid.
And that's such vital context that you're giving us, you know, for viewers are listening in, because we're seeing these clips almost daily, and some of them we're adding context, but we never really truly see the full picture. We now have, 3,000 or so ICE agents. One question I have, and I'm sure viewers, wherever they are watching the world have, is how are they detaining or apprehending people? Is it targeted with knocks on the door or slightly more random?
The answer is yes. It's both of those. And, you know, tactically, I think if federal ICE agents, immigration agents came to Minnesota, had a list, were specifically looking for people, there would be a much different reaction to what's going on here. We have seen videos, and I have seen it happening, of federal agents roaming through neighborhoods, going door to door in some circumstances. We've seen a lot more of, you know, in a gas station or in a shopping mall parking lot, outside of Mexican restaurants, for example, where they will be just asking people, show us your papers, essentially, show us your driver's license. And that, I think, is something that I never thought I'd see in America.
That is absolutely terrifying. I did hear you say when you were talking about you were driving around St. Paul, you went to your favorite Mexican-owned grocery store, American-owned, third-generation-owned by a couple of unbelievable women. But you were saying practically a ghost town because, Jason, of course, so many people are afraid to show up. But you say this is hurting our economy, it's hurting our psyche, and people are getting hurt. So when you hear the president of the United States threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act, I mean, how are people reacting to this? People must be seething.
Well, you know, as I said, there are some people who are like, right on. That's right. Go get them. But I think the business leaders in Minnesota are starting to come together. And there is hope that behind the scenes, there can, as you know, we are in a world where the social media argument about issues does not generally do anything other than rile your own team up and rile your opponents up. It's not getting us anywhere. So there's some hope that, look, if you own Target or 3M or General Mills or some of the massive corporations here in Minnesota, you know, if you're trying to interview a brilliant executive and get them to come out and work here, do you want to come and work in Minnesota right now? And so I think there's starting to be some movement behind the scenes in that direction.
So divisive right now. You know, kindness would go a long way, that is for sure. Jason, really appreciate you coming on and give us an insight from what's happening on the ground, but also the stories that you are hearing. Thank you very much, Jason. Really appreciate it.